Hello. This is going to be a scattered vlog today. I'm feeling very scattered today. There were definitely two things I wanted to touch on. First thing I wanted to talk about was in our community as survivors, and I'm very guilty about this myself. There is a group of people that we tend to forget. I wanted to apologize for my part in not really focusing on this group in our community. But I saw a series of photos recently, and they were talking about sexual assault victims, survivors, but they were male. Of course, it's natural to assume that when people say sexual assault, that they're talking about women, because more prevalent than not, when people talk about sexual assault, it's a woman who's experienced it. Now, in our society, it is often believed that men can't be raped or that men cannot be sexually assaulted, and that just is not true. Anytime that you are forced into a sexual situation against your will, that's rape or sexual assault. Period. Doesn't matter what gender you are or gender identity that you are. You have been assaulted. And I, for one, what's interesting is that my first boyfriend, his mother would pimp him out to the landlord of the trailer park that they lived in so that she wouldn't have to pay rent. And this went on for 8 years until the lady that he babysat for got legal custody of him. But those scars were with him for a very long time. He confided in me years ago, 20 years ago. He confided in me that he was bisexual, but because of what he experienced as a child, he could never be relaxed around men. He had a boyfriend very briefly, but because of those feelings and those emotions attached with men, he could never feel comfortable. Luckily, he did marry, from what I understand, a very nice woman who was very patient with him going through these issues. But to say that men can't be put in those vulnerable situations is just ignorance. It's just pure ignorance, because they can. And I've known people who have been in those situations. I have known men who have been in those situations. And I feel as if I do owe the male community, the male survivor community, a huge apology for not addressing that in any of my vlogs since I started this. And from now on, I do want to make an effort to include you if any of you have ever felt left out in these conversations. And I do apologize, and I really mean it. Second, something that I noticed today, just 10 minutes ago, really. I am in the market for a new therapist, because the other one, although he was very educated in his field dealing with anxiety and agoraphobia and PTSD, his approach was not for me. He had a tendency to raise his voice, and he had not at me, but to prove a point. And he had a tendency to just repeat the same information over and over again. And I didn't feel like I made any progress in the 6 months that I was seeing him. So I've been making phone calls today to find a new therapist, a female. I'm looking for a therapist, and I'm also looking for a psychiatrist. So I did find a psychiatrist who takes my insurance, for one thing, yay, and one who specializes in anxiety disorders, because as much as I have found things that I am able to do work-wise from home, it is not ideal for the life that Melissa and I want to have together. And it's not just something that she wants with me to leave the house, but also when or if we ever have kids. You know, me being homebound is not ideal to raise children. So I noticed that as I was going through the list of possible therapists, when I was getting ready to make a phone call, I was very scared. I was very, very nervous, and I didn't understand it. But I think it had a lot to do with feeling very, very vulnerable. I was very vulnerable, entering into a very scary and new situation. And it happens. It happens a lot when I have to make phone calls, even if I'm calling somebody that I know. It's entering into a new situation every single time you call somebody, and having that anxiety is just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming sometimes, and it tires me out. You know, not just the fact that I'm dealing with possible adrenal fatigue, but also having those surges of chemicals in your body can make you tired. That's just what it is. And people don't understand, some people don't understand that when you have anxiety or depression, those are very physical issues. It's not just something that you feel. It's not just something you think you feel. These are very intense chemical reactions to outside stimuli, and they can wear you down. So I've had a very off day today, and I don't know what triggered it. I've had 2 crying fits today. I took a very long nap, and I'm just mentally I'm not here. Yesterday I was very productive. Today I'm not so much. But such is life with mental illness. But that's what I'm doing today. How are you guys? I hope you guys are well. And I'm sorry I didn't make a video last week. I just completely forgot. There's no excuse. I'm not going to lie to you. I just completely forgot. But I really do hope you guys are well. And please take care of yourself.